Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of The Corner Seat. If you're new here, Karibuni. My name is Rozitta, and I'm excited because of the conversation that we are about to bring to you. My co-host today is called Minister Eunny Mesh. And you guys, we've come such a long journey with her. I'm going to put in a photo for you to see. It's been how many years? It's been so long, probably long. 20 years or something.
20 or 20, 23.
23. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway, karibu sana to the corner seat.
Asante sana.
It was on short notice.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that tumepatikana.
Asante.
Please introduce yourself to our viewers. Let them know who is Eunice. Yes.
Wow. Hi, everyone. Wow. My name is Eunny Mesh. They also call me Auntie Nice.
Auntie Nice. Allah, I didn't know that one. What's that?
Yeah, it's especially kids. I'm nice to people.
Okay, so like nice from Eunice.
Yes.
The nice part. Okay, but you have a really nice heart.
Oh, thank you. I'm humbled.
Yeah. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married with two girls.
Oh.
I'm married to Mr. Meshak Gwantai.
A man.
One man. One. Not two.
It's important to clarify.
I'm not married to a woman, to a man.
Awesome. Shout out to you, Mr. Meshak Gwantai.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Gwantai. Hope you get to see this, yeah?
Hopeful that he does. Yeah, so let's get on to today's conversation. I know we've talked about it a few minutes ago before getting onto the podcast. And when we tell you it's a heavy one, oh my gosh, it's such a heavy conversation, but it's a necessary one.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to be talking about healing versus isolation. And to just get us started, I'm going to ask you, are you healed or just isolated with no one or nothing to trigger you?
Oh my goodness.
Only the truth. Only the truth.
Am I healed?
Yeah, or just isolated?
What? No.
No?
I don't think I'm healed.
You and me both. You and me both.
I am not healed. Are you healed yourself?
I can't say I'm like 100%. Maybe I'm on that journey. But I also acknowledge that I do isolate myself a lot. A lot.
My good Lord.
So maybe I'm also not healed completely. Yeah, so maybe somebody's wondering what exactly is isolation. When you hear the term isolation in the context of healing, what comes to your mind?
What really comes to my mind when I hear isolation is like running away.
You're running away
from the truth or from the reality.
Stuff that hurt you.
Oh, yeah. Or things that really remind you of pain.
Yes.
Yeah. All disappointment.
Yeah. So basically shielding yourself from things that are going to poke on your wounds.
Especially that word, shielding.
Yeah.
No, people put walls.
Yeah. You build
when you're
walls.
thinking you're healed and you're isolating yourself.
Yeah.
Literally, you've put a wall.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to come near there.
The heart.
You keep shielding.
I'm good at that. Hey. If you're watching up to now, please let us know, are you healed or just isolated?
We would love to know.
Yes, please. Now, there's something called the illusion of isolation. And this is where you feel like when you isolate yourself, you are more at peace, you are healed, makes you lie to yourself that you're healed, because now you're happier. And let me know, have you been in that situation where you're lying to yourself that you're healed but you're just isolated?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
God.
Tell us about it.
It's something that really, I don't like talking. But it happened last year, I think in November.
Yeah.
I had a desire, like when I was growing up, I never got to get to have that privilege of meeting my biological dad. And let me tell you, girl, I grew up saying one day I'll meet this guy. And I remember one day I was coming from shopping.
Yeah.
I came hoping that I'll find him literally in the house.
In your house?
Oh, yeah.
Like where you live right now?
Yes.
Like out of nowhere, you find him in your house?
Oh, yes. And I'm there. I'm like, I came with some excitement. Like,
what?
I'll meet this guy.
Yeah.
Then I got to my house. Surprisingly, I had to open my door.
Yeah.
And when I'm opening the door, the reality hits my head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
there
is nobody.
No one is waiting for you.
Nobody
Oh
at all. And so I walked in and I was like, and I hoped that I would find him in there and tell me, welcome, girl.
Oh my gosh, that's a heavy one. Oh my gosh.
I feel like crying because
we do have Soviet.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We came prepared for this conversation.
I'm telling you, I didn't know I wasn't healed.
Oh my god.
Like I was so mad with my family. Why didn't you introduce me to this guy? And I had really done a search of looking.
You've looked for him?
Yeah. Oh my God, Rozitta, I searched for him.
That's heavy.
And I just sat down and I was like, girl, you're hurting.
Oh my gosh. You realized this whole time.
I think I really wanted a hug from my father.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And so I realized for all these years, can you imagine at my age?
Yeah.
Coming home with an expectation
that your father
actually
is
it's an illusion that I'll find him seated there, and I was like, no way.
Oh my gosh.
Rozitta.
That's a heavy one. I totally get it. So all these years you isolated yourself from the reality that you don't know your biological dad, and oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a heavy one. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Especially the way I talked.
I need to shut up. But I get
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I totally get what you mean. And I think I've also been in such a situation of isolation.
Tell us.
Happened. I think I've done this on 2 instances, but majorly the most recent one was now with my mom when she passed on.
Oh, sorry.
And for several months, I knew I was okay. I'm holding on all right. You know, everyone is telling me to be strong, or others are just telling me I'm a strong person. I'm there for my dad and my sister, and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, you know. Until one time when we had to face reality that life has to move on, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how it happened, but I remember feeling this very painful, I don't know, it's like a wave of pain from deep in your belly.
Oh yeah.
And it just came out so uncontrollably.
Uncontrollably. Uncontrollably.
Yes, that's right. And I was so angry. I was so confused. I was so sad. And for the first time in my life, I broke something because of the anger. You know, it was that bad.
Oh God.
And it made me realize all this time I've been...
You thought you were healed.
Yeah, I thought I was doing okay, you know. I thought I was holding up all right. Life is moving, you know. We'll meet on later. And then reality has to start setting in, and I lost it.
Oh my God.
I crashed things in the house.
What?
I've not forgiven myself for that. I still have those broken pieces.
Like literally you broke things.
Yeah, I did. I took our coffee table and I just banged it on the floor.
Were you alone?
No, I was not alone.
Wow, they got shocked.
Of course they did.
I'm
so
sorry.
yeah, that just made me realize that we are not healed. And that's like 5 months.
5 months later.
Yeah, 5 months later.
So you want to tell me all this time you are waking up in the morning, you never like faced it that mom is no longer coming back?
No.
You just like assumed, like it's like you pushed that thought away.
Yes.
And decided just to move on with life.
I kept telling myself she's somewhere. I'm just not seeing her. I'm just not talking to her. you know,
Yeah.
and then reality hits and like, no, she's not waiting and I cannot wait, you know. It was heavy.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
And then another instance related to that same situation. Last year, October. So after this first instant, I got into like a sort of depression, and it was so bad. It was really, really ugly.
So illusion can also get you to depression.
Yeah.
Because Lily, you are not facing.
Yeah, you're not facing
the
stuff.
reality. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
So I got into depression for several weeks, and then I'll share later on how I overcame it.
Okay.
But when I thought I was healed, again I get triggered. So what happened in October last year? A friend of my mom passed on. And it was so heavy because one, how she passed on really didn't make sense to me at all. And I decided I was going to attend that burial. Tell me why after that burial, I could not sleep. I could not be
At
by myself. I was so much afraid. And after a few days, I started getting terrible panic attacks in the middle of the night.
Oh my God. Oh
Yes.
my God. I can relate.
Just when you thought you're healing.
Yeah, something else pops up.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So those are my most recent situations of isolation. Yeah. And that just made me realize that I was not healing. I had not healed yet. Because you know, sometimes you're happy, you're over the top, and then
something
you're
just brings you down. Yeah.
You go back down. Yeah. So that is it for me.
Wow. How is it like now? Now, how are you able to like move from isolation, or you're still moving? Is it a process, or what would you call it?
I think it's a process.
It's a process.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Yeah, and we are gonna share about it in the details.
All right.
Yeah, but someone is probably wondering, Eunice, Rozitta, how do I know that I'm isolated and not healed? Maybe we can share about those examples. How can somebody know they're just hiding from their pain?
I think for me, I would say if you really want to know if you have not healed, you are isolating yourself instead, is when you realize you don't want to face those things.
Yeah.
You're running away from your triggers.
Yeah. Oof, that's a deep one. Running away from your triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a friend that reminds you of that pain.
Yeah.
It could be a thing that reminds you of the happening.
Yeah,
what happened, and you keep running away, pushing it.
Yeah.
And also you can become so busy with other things.
You keep yourself busy.
So busy.
Yes, just so that you cannot focus on whatever is hurting you. And I think I've also done that. Have you done that before?
Yes, I have many times.
Yeah.
Like I would still talk about the search of my father, because all these years I kept saying, I know he's somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think in November,
last year, no?
Yeah, now we're talking about last year. Because I went into a search. I went to ask my uncle, so who am I? I think I was also trying to look for my identity.
Oh my gosh.
Where I'm coming from. That confusion, And so he's like, we don't know. And I would wonder, did my mom had friends? Because she passed on when I was a young girl.
Yeah.
And I remember a friend of ours, no, it's my auntie who told me, your dad is late. My good Lord.
Oh, just like that?
Yeah. And so I would not go to any, like I stopped even watching. If I'm watching, like I'm on my phone, something pops out, like someone was in a burial, I would not look at that. You see? Because it's reminding me, this guy I'm looking for is actually not existing.
You're looking for someone that's long gone.
Yeah. And
oh
it really broke me. You know, the thought of I will never find him.
Yeah.
I will never. it never ended there. I now started searching for his brothers.
Oh my gosh. You don't know him, but you're looking, it shouldn't be funny, but
it looks funny.
But so you started looking for his brothers.
Yeah. And they kept saying, oh, there's one who came for your grandmom's burial. And I'm like, why didn't you introduce that person to me? And Lily, I had to start working on myself. I'm telling you, I'm in a journey.
Yeah,
Sometimes I look at my husband fathering our daughter and I'm like, oh, this
I wish I had a dad. Oh my gosh. Now I'm curious to know, do you think in one or another you look at your husband in some instances as a father to you? Ama you look for that father figure in him?
Maybe not. I think it's something I should start focusing
you
on.
I
need to find out.
Sit with yourself.
Because Lily, I think I've put expectations, so
on
much
him?
Expectations on him. And could be it's because of that thought.
Yeah.
It could be somewhere in my subconscious mind, unconsciously doing it. You know, and probably I need to dig deep.
We are gonna dig deep.
Oh yeah.
You've mentioned about running away from triggers.
Yeah.
I've done that as well. I've mentioned about grieving my mom.
Yeah.
And anything that was talking about burials, death, losing moms, sometimes even those posts about appreciate your mother, she's the best thing you'll ever have. I'm like,
you pass.
Yeah. I don't want to dwell on it because it's gonna remind me my mine is gone, you know. But I think I did that mostly when I was abused in 2016.
Oh,
I avoided. I
feel like standing and giving you a hug.
Oh my God! Yes, we deserve to hug one another.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that time, I used to avoid being alone with a man, being alone outside, like outside this road. I cannot walk on that road by myself.
Whichever time
even
of
right
the
now,
day.
any time of the day. I don't trust
even
it.
now.
Even now.
What?
I only feel safe if I'm in a car.
My good Lord.
I cannot, you see this field behind us?
Yeah.
I cannot walk through that by myself. So I'm going to admit right now, I isolate. I keep away from things that trigger me. And especially that time in 2016, I would avoid that place, that location. You know, the funny thing is, it was the route I would use to go to my house.
Oh, yeah.
In case you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to put a card up here. You can go watch that video so that you
relate.
Yes, you understand what you're talking about. So the place where it all happened was just en route to my house while I was in campus. So there was no way of avoiding it.
Oh, yeah.
So what I would do when I'm walking by that place, I would look away. Yes, I would look away because the moment I look at it, I just break down.
Don't you think that's so traumatizing?
It is. It was. I feel like maybe right now I'm better because every time I pass through that area when I'm in Nairobi, I can look at it and not break down. But even right now, I still isolate myself. If I see a crowd of men, I just stand back like, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So I do feel like what you said is completely true, hiding from the triggers.
Yeah.
And sometimes triggers are very, very minute. Like somebody will share their stories. Because so many people DM me and they tell me, Rozitta, it happened to me too. And I'm like, do I cry for you or do I cry for myself? Or
I know,
you
right?
know, and it triggers me in as much as I don't tell somebody that, yo, don't tell me about your story. It does trigger me. Or sometimes I'm just watching a movie and they mention it. And I'm like, seriously? You know?
You have to?
Yeah. So when you say one way to know that you're in isolation is hiding from the triggers. My hand is up. I am hiding. I am
Oh my
literally
God.
hiding right now. I can say maybe I'm healing, but we'll talk more about that.
The healing
Yeah,
process.
so that's the number one thing
Mhm.
on how to know you're in
Yeah.
isolation.
Yeah.
The other
Number
two,
two, what
number
do you
two, we
think?
can say
Mhm.
when you find yourself
Mhm.
thinking you are at peace by yourself rather than around people,
Yeah.
that's when people start saying, I am an introvert. I, sometimes
And
I
you're
think
not.
exactly. Sometimes I feel like we exalt introvertedness, but maybe you're running away from
True.
people.
It's the truth.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
probably people have said things to you,
Yeah.
they've done things to you, and you feel like, I don't like people, I
Mhm.
prefer to be by myself.
Yeah.
And eventually you cultivate introvertedness
Oh yeah.
within you, but
Mhm.
you really are not an introvert.
I think when you're talking about that, I can relate.
You relate?
Yeah, because I think it happened to me sometimes last year. Hey,
Yeah.
last year,
Last year there was a lot. Oh my gosh, somebody
Yeah.
should erase
Oh my
2024.
God. And I have this friend of mine.
Yeah.
It's someone I really love. And is a friend, like we've walked a journey with her for years. And mostly people would just tell her something that is not right. It's not even truth about me. And she would really, like, I used to wonder, why do you believe in that?
Yeah.
Why do you believe in a lie?
Yeah.
When will you ever defend me?
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
like, really? And I got to a place, I said, let me be far from this person.
You just avoid them.
Yeah, and because it had happened oftenly, not even once, and it would repeat itself. And I'm this kind of a person. I'm the one who looks for peace.
Yeah.
I got to a place, I said, I am not Jesus.
Yes, you're not. Oh my gosh.
I'm not Jesus. I want to be just to isolate myself and be alone.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Rozitta, it really hurt me.
Yeah.
I know it actually, I think when you're also not healed,
you're
hurting.
Of course you're hurting.
Because I feel like screaming right now.
I wish this studio was soundproof. We'd just be screaming and letting it all out.
Yeah, how do you keep talking about someone you love and you lie about them?
Yeah, it's
every
hypocritical.
time. Yeah, every time you hear something about them, you can't defend them.
Yeah,
and so I found myself saying enough is enough.
just
Sasa
avoiding
mimi,
it.
let me avoid these relationships. And sometimes it's not the best way.
Yeah, it's
because
not.
I think we should get to a place where you can confront it and be
face
able
it.
to face that issue or that person and tell them, Hapa, you are doing me dirty.
Yeah.
But you see, you got to a place where you can't even talk about yourself. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It
Oh
hurts,
my gosh, it
Rozitta.
hurts. It hurts. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so heavy. Oh my gosh. I feel like we need to take a short break.
We should.
Oh my gosh.
We should.
I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this. So guys, we'll be right back after this short break.
Oh yeah.
And we are back.
Yes, we are.
It was starting to be heavy. Yes, but I hope you are enjoying this conversation. So far, so good. And now we just want to delve into, now we found out that we are isolated. How do we move from isolation to healing? But first, I would like to know, is there something you've healed from that you are completely sure you've healed from?
Wow. This is getting more interesting.
As it should.
Yeah, but I know there are some few things. I'd want to share one.
Yes, please.
I remember some years back.
Yeah.
Isolation. I really suffered from low self-esteem. And I actually never used to think I had low self-esteem. mine was crazy because I used to think I'm too tall.
Mm-hmm.
Too tall.
Is it because somebody said that to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was this one person when I was growing up kept saying,
Mm-hmm.
you are too tall.
Mm-hmm.
You were like what is that animal again?
Giraffe.
Giraffe.
Oh my gosh, you are so mean.
And you know, I
Yeah.
was so thin.
Okay.
To a point that you couldn't tell when I was coming or when I was going back.
I'm sure that it's somebody that said that to you.
Oh, yes.
There's no way you could have told yourself that.
Like I looked here and here.
Yeah.
Leave alone now we are saying we are
We're hippie.
we are hippie. I didn't have meat.
Yeah.
God, fresh.
Gosh.
There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it really brought me down.
Mm.
Like I would, even when I'm standing, I would really kneel.
Mm-hmm. So that you don't.
I don't want to be taller than people. And it kept eating my self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like, you see, if someone tells you are not beautiful, and you're not able to really tell yourself, I am beautiful, you are not convinced. You don't know that you're beautiful. You're depending, because I think when you're living in illusions, you really depend on what people say.
Yeah, what they say about you.
Yeah. You want them to affirm you.
Yeah.
And so the person who is supposed to affirm you, they're telling you things that are crazy. Wow. And I got to a place, I remember I encountered a man of God, and he looked at me and said, Eunice, you are beautiful. And you can model. And I was like, oh, really? So someone can tell me my height is something.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Just from nowhere, he would call me American height.
Oh.
And it changed everything about me. And I'm telling you, I had to really affirm myself and tell myself, enough is enough.
Yes.
I am good enough. I am beautiful. My height, nobody else has it. And it can be profitable to the world, not only to our nation.
You know, I always say God has given you what he knows you need. So if you have height, God knows you need it.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're short, God knows I need that shortness.
Oh, yes.
You know? So everything we have is a gift from God. Oh.
And imagine, I dealt with my fears. I dealt with my pains. And also dealt with my elusiveness. And I started seeing the importance of me. I don't need anyone to come and affirm me.
You.
I can do anything. I can face anybody. I can do anything now. And I really thank God about that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. And how about you, Rozitta?
For me, yes, I've also healed, like 100% healed from stuff. And maybe to just give an example, can you just talk about toxic relationships?
Come on, girl. You've been to those things.
Hey, yo.
My God.
After the incidents in 2016 of abuse, I had low self-esteem. I hated myself. I felt used. I felt ugly.
Oh, no. And the way you're beautiful.
Well, I didn't know that when I was going through stuff. So I started seeking for validation, seeking for a man to come and tell me, hey, you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're desirable. And the worst part is that I fell into the hands of wrong men. Simply because a man said you're beautiful. Like, Rose, grow up. Bare minimum.
That time, I think it meant everything.
It meant so much. It meant so much. And so what I used to do, when I'd get just a little bit of attention,
you threw yourself
under his feet.
Surrendered.
The king, the emperor. I'm here.
What do you mean? You don't look like you could do that.
I did.
What?
I did.
And you're talking about men, so it was not one.
Not one.
You were a prey to many.
Yes.
Like you surrendered.
Yeah. And now the fortunate
I'm so
thing,
sorry, girl.
it's all right. The fortunate, sobs. The fortunate thing is it would get to a point and one of us would just get exhausted, especially the man. So they take themselves out of the picture and then I'd go to the next person. And eventually, okay, they are not like 10 or 20.
Yeah, they could be 2.
Yeah, we are not naming numbers.
We don't want, because if we name numbers,
yeah, it's wrong.
If they watch, they will know we are talking about
They'll
them.
know.
We don't want.
So it got to a point and there was this particular guy that I thought liked me, like genuinely liked me. And I genuinely liked them. Like I was, you know what, this is a nice place to be.
You are home.
I'm home. You're my home.
Oh yeah.
You're my heartbeat.
I scream. all these names we call them. Yeah.
I tell you. And then it just went on like that for 6 months.
You thought actually he was your Shakespeare?
Yeah, I tell you.
God.
You know, the thing is, he was leading me on.
Oh.
And I was an easy target because I'm hurting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, actually, that's the thing. You're broken and hurting.
I've been hurt by a man and I'm looking for solace from another man.
Ish.
You know? And so it went on for about 6 months until eventually it got to a point and I kind of sobered up and I asked him, where is this going? You know, the questions ladies ask men, who am I to you?
Yes.
What are we? You know, those desperate questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
where is this relationship headed to?
Oh, yes. Give me direction.
Yeah.
And the brother just told me, well, this is nothing. So
nothing.
Yeah, this is
after
nothing.
investing your feelings and your everything and all to him.
I tell you. And it just got to a point and he told me in his words, you need to move on. And
he actually told you to move on.
Yeah. And the fortunate thing about me is I'm a very good person when it comes to obeying. You tell me move on, I will drop you like you're hot. Like
what?
And the next day you are never born.
Really?
Yes.
Girl.
And that's what I
think
did.
that's also something good.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's a positive.
Yeah, it's a positive thing because you see, most people are not able to do that. There are women who will force themselves into men.
Yeah.
For years. Someone is telling you wake up, you're still sleeping.
Yeah.
Someone will tell you move on, you're still there. You
begging.
plead with them, you kneel down, you do all things. So you should count yourself as a blessed woman.
I think I did a lot of practice in letting go. Yeah. So by the time I'm getting to this one and this one is telling me move on, it's like, oh, that's easy to do. Just you're gone. You are never born. You do not exist. What's your name again?
Oh, Rozitta. You forget even their names.
I forget your name. What's your number? Where do you live? You know. So what happened? I momentarily got into isolation and I started avoiding triggers. I started avoiding watching romantic stuff or couples or dating. Valentine's Day was like, ugh.
It does not exist.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But then eventually, I can't remember exactly what happened, but it got to a point where it didn't matter anymore. I think I slowly healed, but that would probably take me back to the video I did on You Are Worthy, in identifying your identity.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I started that journey of finding out my true worth, my identity.
And also placing value on yourself.
On yourself, you know. And I realized, wait a minute. You know how the Bible says, do not give pearls to pigs?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's true. And I realized all this time, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting a gold ring on the pig of a nose, on the nose of a pig.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm valuable, you know, I'm worthy.
Yeah.
And I got to a point and I healed completely.
Wow.
there are those moments when I'd feel like I'm sliding back, but then I would catch myself and be aware of what's happening, and I'd get back on the wagon and continue.
Wow.
Loving myself, knowing I'm worthy, knowing I deserve to not beg for
for
love or a relationship,
affirmations and stuff.
So I got to a point I was completely healed, and I realized I am so valuable. Like God can literally give me a president for a husband if I wanted.
Just talk about that again.
I usually said to myself, if I wanted to be first lady of any country, I can.
Oh yeah, you got the looks, girl.
Probably.
You have the abilities and capabilities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably I'm the Lulu, but
you're not the Lulu.
One day you see me, first lady of America.
Oh my good Lord.
But I guess it just came from a point of now completely healing and knowing that I'm very valuable. I'm very healed.
Oh yeah.
And so right now, even if I meet that guy, I'm like, hey bro, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Has the Lord been good to you? So healing for me in that scenario came from a point of knowing who I really am.
Oh yeah.
Identifying myself. Yeah. So I could say one of the ways to move from isolation to healing is finding out your worth, your identity.
Oh yes.
Knowing who you really are. Yeah, that is one of them.
Wow. Talking about knowing who you are and where you're going is something else.
It's major.
Because I think your identity defines where you're going.
Yeah.
Because if you are able to know the person God called you to be, the person that God intended you to be, no matter what else someone else would say, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And because it doesn't get to your head.
It doesn't get into your head. And I think also placing value on yourself.
Yes.
Not waiting for someone else to come and evaluate who Lily Rozitta is.
And rate you out of 10.
And validate you,
Yeah.
I think that is something that we should really seek for.
Yeah.
Especially if we really want to be healed.
Yes.
If we want to move from illusion of isolation and stuff, then we need to wake up from that sleep, face our lions.
Yes.
Let's face our challenges. Like for example, the way I said I suffered low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I used to have a friend, used to think that she was so beautiful than I was. My God, until I realized that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yes.
And I was like, it doesn't really matter because you could be having the looks, but you have a black heart.
Yeah.
So once you know who you are, my God, it changes everything. Yeah.
It's true. Wow.
So I think that's something so good to really emphasize on. And to just know that you are beautiful. I think something else that someone needs to know is that you're unique. So God creates you as person who is one person that is unique. There can never be a photocopy of Rozitta.
Never.
There will never be any like you. So when God had you in mind, and then the scripture says that I knew you even before you were formed in your mother's womb.
Yes.
I consecrated you to be a prophet, meaning that God already ordained your path. You don't have to keep running away from what you encounter every day. You don't have to keep running away from crazy stuff. You can just face it because you don't have to be perfect. Because something else that really make people to live in isolation is because you want to be perfect.
You want to place yourself on a pedestal. And I think that affects the church as well, because people leave church because church people hurt me. You're looking for perfection, but church, somebody said church is just a place for people, for broken people to go and find their healing. It's a place where we go to find our deliverance, but somebody will leave the church because, they're not perfect. And that does not work. Or maybe somebody says something to you in church and now you just categorize everyone as bad people, and you think, well, I am better by myself, I'm perfect by myself.
Or in another church. You move to another church.
And it happens again.
And then you forget that you still meet people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the name of the church that has changed.
Changes. Yeah.
But if you just know that me, whether people are loving me or they are not there for me, there is what God has called me to be. Imagine you're good to go.
You'll be good to go. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Another thing I think we need to do to move from isolation to healing is to ask ourselves the tough question. Am I avoiding this situation because I'm truly healed, or just because I don't want to face it? And that's a tough question.
Oh, it is.
That's a tough question.
If you ask people that, or you ask myself, am I really avoiding? Like in my case, when I told you, a friend of mine who would think I am not who I am. She hears anything and she would think it is Eunice who talked about it or said about it. And it really broke my heart. And then you are like, am I really healed? Am I really healed, or I'm running away
just
from
avoiding it?
Yeah.
You're cutting off people.
You find you are not. I think I'm not. I'm healing.
Yeah.
I'm healing because it has, like, one of my resolutions in 2025 was, I will not allow anyone to do me dirty.
Yes.
Do you think it's a good thing? When I'm saying it, it sounds good.
It sounds good, but
you should ask yourself, where is it coming from?
Yes.
Why did Eunice come up with such a thing? And I remember, actually, there's a day I wrote a post on Facebook, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm hurting. Eunice, who hurt you? Who broke your heart?
Oh, yes. I'm like, good Lord. Did I just write that? Sometimes I feel like I can go and knock it off, but I'm like, it's already out there.
The internet does not forget.
So those things you really, those things that triggers you to just do things, even without thinking. You do some quotes. You go on TikTok, you just do something crazy.
Like they say, when you break up with somebody and then all of a sudden your social media is like, heaven is the goal.
Yes, these are people who are running away.
When Vashti leaves, Esther comes. God replaces with the best.
Then there are some who will write, don't push for it. If it's not variable.
If it's not for you. And if it's for you, it's gonna come back.
Oh God, all these things are people who are hurting.
People we are hurting. And we need to heal. We need to ask ourselves those tough questions of, why am I avoiding this? And I feel like I've been doing that in terms of when it comes to grieving, relationships. I find myself asking myself, why am I doing this thing? Is it from a point of healing? Is it from a point of pain? Is it because I'm still in that journey of healing? You know? Yeah. So maybe we just have to ask ourselves the tough questions. Why don't I want this relationship? Is it because I'm afraid I'll be hurt again? Or is it just because I'm too healed to tolerate some things? You know, asking ourselves those tough questions, including questions like, why am I like this to my children? Is it because I was hurt by my parents? Or is it because I've really healed from what happened with my parents? There's a lot that we need to ask ourselves to figure out what's really going on the inside of our hearts.
Oh yes. Even to people who are married, because they really, if there are couples who will keep hurting each other, not because they really want, but because they are running away from things. And if you're able to face that little girl,
the child in
you, you will actually realize that your partner is not a problem.
Yeah, it's you.
It's you.
You need to heal. Oh my goodness.
Yes, ask yourself, is it your partner who has a problem? all it's really you.
Oh my gosh. Now that brings up childhood traumas.
Oh yeah.
Abandonment issues.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Stop placing demands on your spouses.
Yeah.
And you are the problem.
You're the problem.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And accepting that you could be the problem is a tough thing.
Yeah.
But with it comes healing.
Oh yeah.
And no, I always say healing is a very painful process. Yes. It hurts.
It does.
I remember when I decided to intentionally start healing from my traumas, one of the things I had to do was go to that place, reimagine everything, recall everything, replay everything.
Wow.
And you know what that was doing to me was like poking that wound.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you have a wound and then you just pour salt on it, it hurts.
Oh yeah,
it hurts. It hurts until it stops hurting. And when it stops hurting, that's when you realize, oh, the wound has healed. You know.
True.
And I think that's the part that we avoid when it comes to healing.
Healing, yeah.
Because we know it's gonna hurt us. It's gonna hurt us to face that person. It's gonna hurt us to face that situation.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna hurt us to face that we have abandonment issues, or we just have self-esteem issues,
or trust issues.
Yeah. You know, it's gonna hurt for us to realize we have those wounds and to intentionally decide to work on them. But in the end, to live a more fulfilled life, we need to face it.
We need to.
And that's the first thing we need to do. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I healed, or is it from a point of pain?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the other thing we were talking about, how to move from isolation to healing, is to allow yourself to feel that hurt, feel that pain. Don't numb your feelings.
Don't numb.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've numbed your feelings?
Wow. Am I ready to talk about this?
Yes, go talk.
Wow, yes, I've been, not even once, severally, where I felt like I am not comfortable, I am not treated well, I am not loved, and yet I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to.
Let me tell you, it's so hurting, it's breaking.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember that time, you see, I think my growing up was not just good.
Yeah.
It was not all rosy and glamorous. I took responsibilities when I was such a young girl.
At what age?
Yeah, at 9.
Ooh, 9.
9. I lost my mom when I was 9. I was turning 9.
Gosh.
And life took a different shape altogether. Like drastically everything changed. I didn't grow up with my family. I grew alone. But before I actually left home, I was all alone. And I would burn charcoal at the age of 10.
What? At
10? Do you see I'm not even healed?
Yeah. We are facing those demons now.
My God, I burnt charcoal. I would sell charcoal.
Oh my gosh, at 10.
Yeah. And if you met me when I was 13, I was a full-grown woman.
Because you've gone through life, you know it all.
And I remember I also dropped out of school to some point. And I found myself in Nairobi. I lived with someone. Like I had literally gone to look for a job and I was so young.
Yeah.
I was so young, and I think I lived in denial after so many years. And I think when I got married, there's a time I was asking my husband, how did you even manage me?
Yeah.
I expected him to be the alpha and omega of everything.
Yeah.
Now, bearing in mind that I had not experienced love.
Yeah.
And even before I met him, I remember I met a guy in Nairobi, and actually he would have taken advantage of me. Because these things, especially women, we go looking for affirmation from men.
Security.
It goes without saying.
Yeah.
So when you meet a man, you just want that man to affirm you. And I told you from the beginning, I was looking for my dad.
Yeah.
There's a quench in me that was not even quenchable.
Yeah.
There was a thirst
in
me that was not even
quenchable.
Quenchable or quenchable.
Yes.
Oh my God. And I longed for that love. And I lived in denial. And so many times I found myself with men. Yeah. Even when I'm growing up, when I was like a young girl, a teenager, and a youth, especially a youth, Rosita, I'll tell you for sure, 99% of my friends are male. I find my security there. I don't know whether it's a bad thing or it's a healing process.
I think it's just the trauma of not growing up with a dad, being by yourself. And of course, every girl child has that part within them.
Oh yeah.
That needs their dad, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And growing up like that, and then becoming like how now you're married and I'm this person that I want my marriage to work. So sometimes, even when there's something wrong, probably I would suppress it.
You numb it.
Yeah, I numb it. I don't want to speak about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be judged. Probably not only by my husband, but you would find also in the relationship. It has really affected me. Because at the end of the day, I am the person who is hurt.
Yeah.
I am that person that is left wounded. And I don't talk about it. Yeah. And also my friends, I've had few friends who've taken advantage of me. And I'm telling you, Rozitta, I think it's now I'm waking up and I'm telling myself, Eunny Mesh, you are beautiful. You can handle everything. Yeah. You don't have to be in toxic relationships or friendships just to feel that feeling of having so many friends around you, and they mistake you, they take you for granted. I have been telling myself,
enough is enough.
Enough is enough. And I think, as you have said, it's that you have to face it.
Yeah, don't numb it.
Don't numb it.
Yeah.
Iguze kabisa. Yeah, iguze kabisa, because I am realizing that I am healing bit by bit. Yeah. Because Lily, tell me how you get into a house and you're crying that you didn't find your dad.
And that was heavy. That was heavy.
So I'm just thinking, even to our viewers, you really need to face whatever you're going through.
Yeah. And facing it is like, it's why they say face your giants.
Oh yeah.
Face the demons.
Face those demons.
The skeletons in your closet.
Yeah.
And about numbing that pain, we become so good at it.
Oh yeah.
We become very used to hiding our pain, shielding our pain. And so many people do it without even realizing that they are numbing their pain. I did it I think the whole of last year, maybe 90% of 2024, I was on Netflix. Watching watching Korean dramas. I wake up first thing in the morning, look, what are you watching for today? Watching it. So I just watch. I'm doing dishes, I'm watching. I'm cooking, I'm watching. I'm eating, I'm watching.
What?
I've gone to the bathroom, I'm watching.
Bathroom?
Yes.
Ah, no way.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Bathroom?
Yes. So it became a way for me to not think about the grief that I need to deal with, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if I'm laughing at something that I'm watching, or I'm on TikTok and something is funny and I just burst out laughing, I forget that I'm in pain. I forget that I'm grieving, you know? And sometimes I would catch myself laughing and I'd feel guilty for laughing because I know
you're supposed to be?
I'm supposed to be crying. I'm supposed to be facing the pain on the inside, you know?
Yeah.
And it affected me so much until it got to a point where I was telling you that I started having those panic attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Because now it became I'd suppressed it so much until it started eating me up. And that's the unfortunate thing about pain. You suppress it, it comes back at you.
It does.
It comes, eats you up, destroys you, breaks you.
Oh yeah.
And I was reading a
Crushes
book.
you.
I was reading a book and I came across a certain quote that really, really helped me. And it was saying, when you resist, it persists.
Wow.
That was everything for me.
It was a
game
turning
changer.
point. Yeah.
Completely.
Wow.
Because I realized all this while I've been resisting my pain.
Oh yeah.
Resisting the reality, resisting the anxiety.
Yeah.
And the more I resist it, the stronger it grows.
Oh yeah.
Because when I'm resisting the anxiety, it's not coming out. I am pushing it back. And so it grows and comes back
more stronger.
Exactly. And then I push it down.
Oh God.
It became a pattern. So much that I would hate to be by myself in my bedroom. I'd not sleep with lights off. I would hate to be by myself. It was really starting to destroy me. And when I decided, you know what, I'm not going to resist it anymore, it started going down. So what happens with panic attacks that probably most people don't talk about is panic attacks come with severe symptoms.
Severe
symptoms, yeah. Like? And mine were a feeling of impending doom. Like I would just feel like something bad is about to happen right now.
What?
And it could end up with me dead.
Oh no.
And that feeling when you're by yourself is crazy.
I know.
Oh, because it comes with those heart palpitations. You're feeling like you're about to faint, you're dizzy.
Oh yeah.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
Until I learned about the art of not resisting it. So I started leaning into it instead.
Oh yeah.
Started leaning into my pain. So whenever I'd feel like I need to cry, I miss my mom, I need to cry,
you just let it out.
I let it out.
Yeah.
I need to hear her voice. I go watch on YouTube or Facebook or short clips that I've recorded. And if my heart is in pain, I allow myself to feel that pain.
Oh yeah.
And slowly I realized the more I leaned into the pain, the better I started becoming, you know.
It's true.
With the anxiety and the attacks and stuff. And I would even sit in a situation and I start in consciously sort of bringing out the anxiety. Like telling myself, I'm feeling it coming.
Oh yeah.
I will just let it come. You know, sometimes you feel like your heart is being torn apart or your stomach has just been ripped.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a very scary feeling.
I know.
But I would allow myself to feel it instead of suppressing it. And I just feel it for like a few seconds and it passes.
Oh yeah.
And I realized, wait a minute. If I don't resist, it won't persist.
It won't. It won't.
And that's the same thing with healing.
Yeah.
Don't numb your feelings.
Oh,
don't numb that pain. Allow yourself to feel.
Oh yeah.
So if maybe you got out of a bad relationship, feel the pain.
Feel it.
Allow yourself to feel it. Somebody said mean things to you, feel it. Lean into it.
Oh yeah.
And before you know it, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not a giant growing inside of you.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and that was a turning point for me.
You. I think there's something else I'm picking. When you talk about you leaning in it and not suppressing it.
Yes.
That also means you're real.
Yes. You're real with yourself.
Yeah, because you see, most of us, the way we were brought up, we were not allowed to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Like
why
someone
are you
is crying.
Why are you crying? I will beat you so that you can cry more.
Why did you break the grass?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And we're coming, we were brought up from the, families that were, what was presented on the table was something different. Nobody really cared about your feelings. And I think most of us have grown in such way where you feel like you're so traumatized if you speak out,
Yeah.
or
Oh
if
my
you
gosh.
express yourself.
That's even.
Yeah. And I think that is the beginning of healing.
Yes.
Because if you're able to, like, letting it out, telling someone, I'm feeling like crazy, I'm bitter,
Yes.
I feel like I can crush you.
Yeah.
I think also my husband taught me that. And he would tell me, let it out.
Nice.
If you feel like someone is bothering you, let them know. Don't even care how they will take you or think. Because you are minding of their feelings
instead of yours.
Yours. At the end of the day, you find it's you who is hurting.
Yeah.
And then you push them into your back mind, in your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And those subconscious mind, one time it wakes you up. And that's actually what causes those triggers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I remember I also suffered that panic attack. And it's bad. It's so
bad.
ugly.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, I remember that night. I was in my house. I was all alone. And I started feeling like I'm dying.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that feeling.
I was losing my breath.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy on me. And then I said, wow, who will even realize I'm in the house?
Yeah.
And I started actually like accepting I am dying.
Yeah. Your mind is so convinced.
Yeah, you're so convinced that something is happening now.
Oh my gosh.
I could touch my heart.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I didn't like dying that much. I was so afraid of dying.
Oh my gosh.
It was something that pushed me for a whole week. I remember one morning I woke up and I said, I want my daughter to have an experience of me. I went to school just to say hi. I hugged her tightly because I'm ready to go.
Yeah, your mind is so convinced.
Yeah. I was like, now she will have a memory. When I go, she will have a memory. Say, and my mom just came all the way to school.
God forbid.
Then I remember I went back to the house. I opened my door. I said, at least if they don't see movement, they will retrieve the body. My good Lord. Oof. And then the way you were saying, I faced that feeling. It came. I said, so you want to die? Let's die. I remember saying, let's die.
Yes.
Let's die. And I realized I'm not dying.
It went, right?
I'm telling you, I think it's an illusion.
Yeah.
I found myself on top of the game and I was like, wow.
Yes.
So if you're able to face your fears,
it's gonna pass.
It will pass.
Yep.
So girl or a young man watching us there, if you're able to face your fears,
face it.
Face it.
Lean into it.
Oh, yes.
Don't numb it. And I think that's just the whole point of now, where healing begins. And just as we come to the end of this intense conversation, maybe we should just allow ourselves to know that healing is progressive.
Oh, yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a journey, yeah.
You don't just wake up one day and realize, oh, I'm not afraid anymore. Or, I am healed completely. It's a journey that takes time.
Oh, yeah.
It could take 20 years, could take 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
But the best thing is you are on that journey. Meaning yesterday compared to today, you're better today.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of healing. It's knowing tomorrow I'm going to be a better person. Tomorrow I'm going to be stronger. And there's something I am coming to learn that, especially when it comes to grieving, it's time is not going to heal me.
Oh, yeah.
Time is going to make me stronger.
And that is deep, girl.
And if I'm stronger, it means I'm allowing myself to heal more. Because healing takes a lot of strength.
Oh, it does.
And time will give you that strength to heal from that situation, from that pain, you know? Yeah, so remind yourself that healing is a journey.
Yeah. Something else as we concluding is that just accept that you are healing daily.
Yeah, give yourself grace.
Yes, don't push yourself so hard.
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, and acknowledge the small wins.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Accept it, acknowledge it, and say, wow, yesterday I was there. Today I am here. Tomorrow there'll be a better version of me.
Yes.
You're evolving every day.
Every day.
Yeah, and be proud of who you are. Be proud of the person you're becoming every day.
Oh, that's
and as
deep.
she has said, it's a process.
Yeah.
See, when you're processing something, it does not just...
It's not instant.
It's not instant. It takes grace.
Yeah.
And once you're able to just come into term with that, you become better every day.
Oh, you said something amazing.
Yeah.
Celebrate small wins.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, I was dealing with anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
Today, I don't have that.
Oh, yes.
And that's progress. That's a win.
That's a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've had so much, received so much insight from this conversation. I think we've also had to face some of our fears and pains in the process of this conversation. And I feel like we already are at a better place from before we began this conversation. Thank you so much. I've had so much fun.
Thank you.
Maybe any other last words for our viewers?
Wow. I would just say accept the small wins.
Okay. Celebrate them.
Celebrate them. Don't beat yourself.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that no matter what you're facing, God created us with ability to win.
Yes. There's no temptation that cometh to you that you cannot win. Oof. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So keep progressing. Keep moving on.
Yes.
Trust the process.
My coffee. Thank you so
Rozitta,
much
for having me.
You're welcome.
This was insightful.
You are an amazing co-host. I've really had fun. We should do this again.
We should.
Cynthia,
oh my God, yeah. Thank you so much.
Let us know what you've learned from this conversation. Just drop a comment. Say something that you've captured or something you've realized, and you can also share an instance where you moved from isolation to healing. And with that, we've come to the end of this a very, very amazing conversation at the Corner Seat. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember to like this video, share it as well, drop a comment, and if you've not subscribed, kindly go ahead and subscribe. We are going to be bringing you amazing, amazing conversations. You can also join the channel membership of this channel. Sounds like a lot of channel, but yeah, you can also join the membership of this channel to access videos earlier than others, and also to get to see the behind the scenes and so much more that you're going to be experiencing on that platform. So thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye. Guys.
Bye.